In a lush, green jungle filled with towering trees, singing birds, and playful animals, there lived a small but very greedy squirrel named Chiku. Chiku had only one thing on her mind: collecting food. Every day, she would gather nuts, fruits, and seeds, stuffing them into her tiny tree hole. She never shared, not even with her friends. Near Chiku's tree lived a kind and generous parrot named Mither. Unlike Chiku, Mither believed in helping others. He shared his food with hungry birds and small animals, making sure no one in the jungle went to sleep hungry. All the animals loved Mither for his kindness. One evening, dark clouds covered the sky, and the wind began to howl through the trees. A terrible storm was approaching. The animals rushed to find shelter. The wind grew stronger, and soon, trees began to shake. Some even fell to the ground, destroying nests and food supplies. When the storm finally stopped, the jungle looked different. Many trees had fallen, and food became scarce. The animals were in trouble. They searched everywhere, but there was little to eat. Chiku, however, had a different plan. She had stored plenty of food in her hole before the storm. When the hungry animals came to her, she refused to help. "Please, Chiku, we are starving. Can you share some food?" a little rabbit begged. "No, this is my food. I worked hard to collect it, and I won't give it to anyone," Chiku replied, slamming her tree hole shut. The animals were disappointed, but they had no choice but to walk away. Meanwhile, Mithu, the generous parrot, searched for food and shared whatever little he found with those in need. His kindness gave the animals hope, and they admired him even more. Strikes. A few days later, another powerful storm struck. This time, the wind was even stronger. Chiku's tree swayed dangerously. She held on tightly, but suddenly, crack. A branch broke, and all her carefully stored food tumbled out of her hole and into the river below. Within moments, everything she had saved was washed away. Now, Chiku had nothing to eat. She was weak, hungry, and alone. The same animals she had refused to help now had no reason to help her. Lesson learned. With no other choice, Chiku swallowed her pride and went to Mither. Her voice was soft, and her eyes were filled with regret. "Mithu, I made a huge mistake. I was selfish and refused to help others. But now I am the one who needs help. Will you forgive me?" Mithu smiled warmly. "Of course, Chiku. Helping others is always the right thing to do." He gave her some grains and fruits to eat. As Chiku ate, Mither gently said, "Happiness comes from sharing, and greed only leads to loneliness and loss." Chiku nodded, understanding the truth in Mither's words. From that day on, she changed her ways. She no longer kept food just for herself, but happily shared with others. The jungle animals welcomed her back with open arms, and she finally understood the joy of kindness. Moral: true happiness lies in sharing, and greed only leads to loss. Smiling face with smiling eyes.